So what's going on, creatives? We're here again, another episode of the Grids and Guides podcast, where we're trying to guide creatives and give grids and guides on being a creative or being a client in the creative world. So today, we've switched it up a bit different. You get me? We've got a guest on, someone who's worked with BBC, Sainsbury's, and worked with a lot of local companies. So I'd like to introduce Jason.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show.
Owner of J Creative.
J Creative. J Creative, as a lot of my friends say. Yeah, man, thanks for having me on.
Nah, man.
Yeah.
It's only right. Obviously, we've got a history from being at uni together. So I just
Way
thought,
back.
obviously, you're on this journey of creating as well. And you've been on a similar journey to me, but very different. So
Yeah.
it's good to see where your journey started and how you got into the creative world.
Yeah, of course, obviously from uni and whatnot. Literally, how many years ago now?
I can't remember.
Yeah, so
Over
that's
10
like
plus years.
over 10 plus years in the sector. So yeah, it's been interesting, obviously seeing your journey and my journey. I've been more down, probably say more the corporate side in terms of working for businesses and stuff like that, bigger organisations. But seeing your journey come through and what you've done and where you are now is, how we're aligned is amazing. Obviously we cross paths and we still creating to this day, you know. So yeah.
Again, even like with Vinz, obviously me and him was at the same college together, certain college.
Design Centre.
You get me? The good old design centre. You get me? It's knocked down now. So mad.
Yes, there's a house there now still.
Yeah, it's mad. But yeah, so obviously all three of us have been on this journey from an early age, and we're still here doing it, and we're able to pay bills and raise families and whatever from what we're doing. So
It's true.
Let's guide them. Let's tell them how well. What's your journey? Tell us.
Yeah, so obviously started off Hell's in college, went into media, studied media studies, had a passion for media at first. That was the drive. So it was just kind of like seeing what was going on in there, and it was then I started messing with Adobe Photoshop, and kind of cut away from the media side of things. And then obviously got a I think it was MMP, merit pass might have been, and then obviously then that followed on going into uni. So from then went to Wolves Uni, graphic communications. We studied obviously with yourself, as you know. That was a 3-year journey, 3-year slog, and then 3 years.
Would you say you enjoyed it? Or?
Yeah, it was interesting. And at the time, I feel like some of the subjects that we were studying, some of the modules were a bit outdated even then. And that was what, 2010, was it? 2010, 2011? And even then it was... Yeah. And even then, some of the software that, they were still using Quark Express, where we was using Adobe InDesign. And they was trying to get us to use older things, but...
had Flash as well.
Flash,
Let's
get back to Flash.
And it always used to need to get reinstalled and stuff.
Oh, no.
Remember them days?
Always crashing.
You know what that brought back memories of? When I was at uni, we used to get told to do like assignments. You had to make up your own project. What I didn't like is they would say go to the library for like 2 hours. Bro, I'm going to the library and all the books there from like 1970 about Aztecs. And I'm saying that it's interesting to learn patterns, but how's this going to help me design like branding for a flyer or a nightclub? Do you know what I'm trying to say? So when you're saying things are outdated, that just brought back a big memory still.
It's true. When I think of some of the stuff that we done, it was like, yo, why are we learning that? But
a lot of those modules now are just irrelevant.
That's what I'm saying.
I guess that's just life's moving, innit? Things change quickly. You just gotta jump.
Can you
on
see
the
there
waves
though?
now.
That's the gap in the market then, because if things are outdated, us as creatives who've experienced that outdated business, we can create the new books for the new generation. You get me? So that's where the gap in the market is. Anyone makes a book now that goes in uni, I'm getting a percentage. Because I ain't heard no one say that before. You know what I'm trying to say?
No, it's true.
That's important, man. I think that's one thing that us as creatives do need to start doing is having our journeys and what we've learned through you know, being a creative after so long, putting it in books, the stuff that we like, the kind of designs we've done. So then it's there, it's part of history, and people can learn from what we're doing. Even this year can be part of history, or will become part of history.
It is.
People can learn.
Yeah,
You get me?
online, you get me. It's free game.
There you go, it's
I'm
true.
trying to say.
Yeah.
You know what it is though? It's good to sit down with another creative, because you see, where you know Designer Philly, I don't know you like that. So
Yeah.
I know you're talking about college and uni and stuff. I want to know, how did you even get into like being a creative? So like, see, back in the day, growing up from a child through to being a teenager, what are the things that like you would do, like hobbies and stuff? Like, how did you get into being creative, if that makes sense?
Yeah, it's quite a random one still. I caught onto it very late. I feel like, for instance, like when I was talking about going to college, and you know, just seeing some of the tools, because it weren't until one of my lecturers, she presented Adobe Photoshop to us, and she was doing like tutorials on, you know, just basic stuff like the pen tool, how to use the brush tool, you know, manipulating some of the images and stuff like that. And she used to just do these tutorials as part of like a small module of it. And I was like, yo, I'm interested in this. I like this.
Oh, yeah.
But that kind of, it might have been like subliminal how I kind of picked it up, because there might have been things in the past where I've, you know, kind of done stuff where it was like, you know, because I've never been great at drawing and stuff like that. So,
But you're saying that sparked it, basically.
but that might have sparked it in terms of, yo, this is where I want to explore.
Opened your mind to that avenue.
Yeah.
That makes sense still. I understand.
And I think it was probably more so because the fact that I couldn't draw, but maybe it's part of the manipulation of the images. Okay, so, you know, how can I make this better and refine? Exactly. So coming from that aspect, I think that's how I kind of molded into it. And then from there, I just hadn't obviously dabbled in Flash at college as well, early stages. And then that was like animating and stuff like that. So it was like, yo, I feel like this is my sector. You get me? So, yeah.
So what I like, all right then, 2 questions. So I know you dibble and dabble with video.
Yeah.
Would you say video is like your main bag, or would you say more like the graphic side of things, or do you mix both? Like, what are the things that you do?
I'm like a jack of all trades, like master of none. That's what I always say. But no, like, I'd say more so graphics than video. As opposed to, I think like I picked up video quite early on by doing, you know, studying media, and even back then we was like, it's silly when you think of it now, but college, like, I didn't want to be that guy walking around with a bag with a camera, like going into Refect with my bag and that, thinking,
So back in the day, doing graphics weren't cool. Saying you can draw weren't cool. But you see now,
it's a different thing.
So the money's at it.
It's a different.
All of a sudden, everyone's creative.
Yeah,
you know what I'm trying to say.
Exactly. I didn't want to be seen with a camera in that bag, like walking around Refect and with my tripod and that, like thinking, yo, who's this? What's my man doing walking around filming the college and that?
With his camera.
Yeah. But flip that now, like I've gone and copped a camera, like, you know, and I've incorporated that with the work that I'm doing now, and you know, there's no one bats an eyelid, as you said, because, you know, you can make money from it, and there's loads of opportunities and stuff like that. So, but I do kind of, back to you guys, I do incorporate it with graphic design, but graphics is probably my main bag. But
it's good when you can do a few things, being jack of all trades, because, for instance, I always used to steal my mum's camera. Not steal, but, you know, I used to use it all the time. I used to hug it, or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what word to use, but I always used to use it to the point where she saw that I was using it for my work.
Yeah.
So my mum bought me a camera. She bought me a DSLR, a Canon, and I used that to take pictures. Instead of going on Google and getting textures, I'll be there taking pictures of like wood or metal. I'll be with the man then. Be in a car or something, and like we'll go, like, if I was with my cousin, we go gym, whatever, I'd have my camera from my in my bag, from, because we'll go straight from college kind of thing. And it's like, if we walked through a park or we went somewhere and I had my camera, I'll be taking pictures of stuff, and everyone's looking at me like, yo, what are you doing? I'm just like, yeah, just watch. You'll see. Because I knew what I was gonna do with that. Yeah. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
You was ahead of the game, fam, because when you go gym now, it's tripod central. Literally, there's a tripod everywhere. I look that way. I'm not trying to
content,
duck.
And it's a content game now.
And it's changed now. Before you couldn't be seen with a tripod and a camera. Go
probably
there,
probably have your camera like this.
On a slide.
Yo, get me doing the quick bench press. A man's there like this. But now everyone's out the bag with their camera, just tripod,
posing
everything,
and all sorts, like in, you know, it's become a norm. So I think everyone just sees it. It's one of them things. It's an opportunity, isn't it? People have seen an opportunity, especially the way the world's moving.
Yeah.
Why not purchase a camera and just start, making some
just
money?
become a normal part of society, innit? Like you were saying, when you was at college, you was kind of scared to take your camera out. But then now it's like, that's just normal. Like no one don't even look at anyone. It's just like, everyone knows what they're doing, or doing content for this or YouTube or whatever. So it's just become a norm. So it's like now, maybe because of that, more people feel like the freedom to be creative.
Yeah, I feel like that's what it is.
I guess let's say even for us doing this now, being on camera, initially it's you feel a bit awkward. But it's like once you do it, it's just like, it is what it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know why you're doing it, for a purpose, so it just has to be done.
Yeah. I think that's bang on what you're saying there. I think because people have seen people, and it's like, even you go on holidays and you see people doing just random. There could be models just doing TikTok videos for TikTok and stuff like that. Like
dancing,
and you're like, dancing on the street. Like, I remember when I went Cape Verde and there was people just different shots. Like, can you record that again? They didn't care didn't have a care in the world who was about. So, but I feel like times have changed, obviously.
But at the same time, what I would say is, don't feel pressured that you have to always record yourself. As a creative, I don't think you always have to. You can just show your work and that's it. You can be invisible, but at the same time, when you are visible, it just helps you. It's better for like networking opportunities, or when you are out, people can say, I can go speak to them about that. You might be able to help them. So I feel like sometimes people put that pressure on themselves, and it like, I have to do this. If I don't, like, you don't have to do it, but it can help in many ways.
In situations, and it's every day is a learning day as well. I always say, even if it's that 1% that you learn, it's still valuable. It's going to be good for the long run. So
100%. So obviously, through your journey, like, who would you say has been your best client, or who have you enjoyed working with?
It's been an interesting journey, because obviously my field of work, going to talk about is online training, which is random digital training, e-learning, whatever people want to call it nowadays. And what that is just another form of delivering training. So, people do face-to-face training, or they do group sessions, group classes. Now, with the way the world's worked, everything's accessible online. So now people do online modules where, people would have had to do them when they work for businesses or companies or something like that, especially big corporations. Go in and do your e-learning, and, and sometimes it's flat. But even that's moved on from, design in the design world as well. So bringing that in with design, it used to just be about, click next. As you said, going through it, it can be boring. It's dry. Yeah. So now, even in my field of work now with e-learning, it's like, how do we make it interesting for learners? Like, incentivize it. Do we put games and stuff in there?
Before you go too deep into that, for people that don't know, what is e-learning?
Yeah, so e-learning is basically another form of training delivered online, and it's just a way for users to get an understanding of a subject, whether it's finance, whether it's HR related, whether it's just standard training. It's just a way for users to gain knowledge in something, in an area or a specific area.
So it's kind of like quick revision, because if you got like a module you got to do, it could be like risks, conduct of risks, or whatever, code of conduct in the workplace, and then it could give you like, you'll have about 4 slides. It's similar to like a PowerPoint presentation, and then it's got the information. You click through it, and then you get like a little test at the end. Yes. And you have to score. Some of them are like that. Some of them are just information based.
Yeah. You have health and safety ones as well, innit?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So you have mandatory ones, which is what Vin was going into, where you just get like a couple of slides, or sometimes it can be like 36 slides, and you're there all day doing this thing, and you're like, I'm falling asleep. But then sometimes you've got smaller slides, which we call soft skills, and then that's where it's a bit more in depth. So you'll see some online where it's like around mindfulness, a a lot more have branched out into mental health and stuff like that. So they have these nicely designed courses, normally in like a program called Rise or Evolve or whatnot, and they're structured quite nicely. It gives it like more of a website feel. So you're scrolling through a web page rather than doing click next. So it's about making that transition, just making it a better experience for end users so they don't get bored. So basically that's what I'm doing, and that's what I do at the minute.
So you just touched on some of the software you use. So what software what software do you use to create e-learning?
So there's quite a few softwares out there. So they're called authoring tools, and there's one called Rise, Articulate Rise, which is, again, it's more linear. So if you can imagine, you go into the training and you'll have your modules, what to expect down the left hand side, and then you'll have all the content within the middle, and you just kind of flick through it.
Okay.
And then scroll down onto the next one. So it's more linear rather than click next, like PowerPointy. And then there's another tool called Evolve, which is more of a website feel. So you kind of, you won't know that you're in Evolve until, unless you know it. But you could just be landing on a normal website. So that's the kind of feel that we're trying to give now. Whereas back in the day, it was just more like PowerPoint. Just slideshows or just click next. So now it's that experience of we're going to go through this module, whether it is on mindfulness or whether it is on mental health or whatnot. But it's just another experience, and obviously there's credits to it as well. Some companies can accreditate for it. So you can get accreditation and stuff like that depending on what. So
how do you go about it? Like, does the company say to you, okay, cool, we got a brief, we got all this information, we got these images, we want you to create these images, or we want you to, did they give you like a structure of how they want it to be done, or did they just leave that to you, or like how does it all come about? How do you put it together?
So normally, because there's a lot of theory behind it, and this lies into everything. It can go, like, I line it into, like, with when you're speaking to a client, whether it's graphic design, creating a logo, you always understand what are the objectives, and that's the main thing, is getting the objectives, and they need to be actionable objectives, not just understanding this and understanding that. It's, by the end of this module, you'll be able to. You get me? Whereas, before it was a bit woolly and it was more tick boxy, but
just to say they've done it.
Just to say they've done it, and then that from there, that's where the conversation breaks down, because it doesn't have to be an e-learning course. Sometimes it could just be a PDF. Sometimes it's just comms, just a mix of poor comms, where that could just be an email sent out to the business. But what would normally happen is, say, like, for instance, if I say revert back to finance, someone in finance, there's a need for someone, they've got some new compliances out, and we need this training to be, we need our finance team or colleagues to know this bit of training. So then we'd understand what that problem is, and then develop that training to
kind of help them.
Normally it's mainly about ticking compliance and stuff like that, if it's along those lines. But then that's working for like a corporate organisation, that they need to get this right for legal reasons and legal issues. So it's more normally, and that's the aspect tick boxy. But then working, say, like with BBC, it's a bit more fun, because like we've probably collab with BBC 3 or whatever, and then they might want to create some content where it's internal, but then sometimes it could be external as well. Sometimes it is front facing, and we've worked with some.
So was that a name drop? Is that a company you've worked with?
The name drop.
So what was it like working with BBC? Like,
again, it was interesting. It was interesting, like, because obviously it was internal, so I weren't freelance or anything. Started off going in as a contracted work, and then became full time. So it was all kind of, again, training, but internal training. So if you can imagine, we would work with parts of the business, say for instance that they would want to learn how to use cameras, or camera training, or even reporting. So we'd work with that team and then create some training around that. So when they go out and report, they can refer back to the training and stuff, and just boost their skills and stuff. But it wasn't just about that. Like, we kind of went away where we'd done interesting things internally, which just took us away from learning. It was more about exposure and exposing teams more within the business. But yeah, when we did front facing work, it was good as well. So, because then we got involved in some like editing and stuff like that as well, like editing videos and working with some producers and that. So
that's sick. So while you was doing that, what was, so design wise, what was there any restrictions to what you could or couldn't do, or did you have to just work to like the BBC brand guidelines or
to, yeah, so that's an interesting one, because the brand guidelines, feel like a lot of businesses follow the BBC's brand guidelines, because it's so strict and thorough. I mean, in terms of like, down to capitalisation and boring stuff like that. But it's important when it's,
I can imagine
for consistency.
Like that, would have to be.
Yeah, so a lot of businesses refer back to BBC's brand guidelines, but generally speaking, as long as you adhere to them, you could kind of go into create whatever you wanted, depending on the team. So you, again, just like how you kind of start off with a client, we'd go in and say, oh, what kind of colours are you looking for? What kind of, what's the vision? Where do you want this particular part of what you're saying to go? What do you want it to look like? And then we'd create that, and then it'll kind of form of an identity. So it's not just training; it's you've got a whole brand to it as well. So when you're releasing comms, you got the colour structure, you got the design and stuff there.
Well, obviously, you have to be in brand and make sense.
Exactly. So yeah, it was a lot more open than anywhere else that I've worked, kind of thing. So
have you worked with any other big companies?
Yeah. So currently work for Sainsbury's, just doing online training there.
I said that like it's normal,
That's a big thing.
Yeah, work for Sainsbury's.
Yeah, it's a bit different though, because obviously, like when you, when you're employed by them, you've got that kind of restriction. Whereas if I was stepping in as a contractor coming in and have a bit more freedom, which is probably the better way of doing it, because it just allows you to create more, be more creative. So there's a bit of a restriction there.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say, because sometimes I feel like as creatives, let's say you are working with, say, a big organisation or brand, like you have your guidelines, but that's how you have to be creative. Like, how can I work within this guideline to create certain that's still going to stand out, but I can only work with, within these guidelines. How do you feel like, when you've worked with certain companies, brands or whatever, like when you've got like a strict guideline, do you prefer that, or do you prefer being able to create from scratch and just do what you want to do?
You know what it is? It's like, let's say, for instance, you asked to do something abstract. It makes sense to have more creative control in it. But if you're working for a company, for instance, I work for a grassroots football company. They produce the football kits and footballs and everything. So some of their the brands that they used to work with were like Adidas, Nike, Stano. So those companies will send through a style guide. Now before that, I didn't know what a style guide was, so I learned something. And they would tell you why the Adidas letters need to be lowercase. If you look on Adidas stuff, everything's lowercase. You don't see if you see Adidas, it's capitals. It's fake. That's from Turkey. You know what I'm trying to say? That's from Turkey or something. But little things like that. It will say, for instance, I did a flyer the other day. It's a chop shop jersey party, and it's the second.
Big up chop shop.
Big up chop shop every time. This is the second installment for that type of event they're doing. And the club is XOYO, so they sent through like a style guide and said how the logo is meant to be used. So you're meant to put it in like the bottom right corner, and then the address bottom left corner. That's just how they do their, it keeps everything in order, keeps everything smart, it keeps everything clean. Yeah. Especially with my design style as well. So I had to implement that, and I like it because it keeps some sort of structure to what you're doing. 100%. You know what I'm saying? And you as a designer, you can then look at things and say, you know what, I need to keep a style guide with things that I'm doing. And when I'm doing branding now, I can create a style guide for my clients. You get me? So I do like it. So where it's warranted, where it's needed, I like to use it. If it's a thing where the design needs to be more abstract.
Yeah.
And I can just let my imagination run wild. I wouldn't want like a style guide. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, structure is important, man. As much as being creative, we like to be free. Having a bit of structure, like as I said, the guidelines in it, like just having guidelines there to work within. Sometimes it's needed because then you don't have to think as much. You can just keep everything precise. You know where everything needs to go, and you just work within that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's 100. I think as you said, Vin, like you learn things, don't you?
Yeah.
And you see a company's guidelines, and you're like, yo. Yeah, so when you start with a brand, it's like the first thing that you think of is, have they got brand guidelines? Because without brand guidelines, it's like the skeleton. Like you're kind of lost without it. You've got no, you've got no way of doing stuff. So if you've got a specific,
it also
helps
gives you an
balance.
idea of the quality of the people that you work with.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Big facts.
Yeah.
It gives you a good idea, and then it also kind of sets like a standard. You get me?
Yeah, sets a tone of, you know, who you're working with, and they've took that time to think about how do we want our brand to look, how do we want other people to perceive our brand, even though like the pictures, fonts, all of these things are important, or how your logos on a flyer or a piece of marketing material. All of these little details is why the big brands are the big brands.
Yeah.
Think about all of these things.
Exactly.
So that's one thing I'll say, people. If you are starting your own brand, create a brand guideline, because at least then when you do work with any other graphic designers or any other creatives, there's a certain guidelines that they have to work within. And as a designer, it's always good to create or try and get your clients to create brand guidelines, because it's important, very important.
Because you've got something to revert back to then. So, if you're unsure, you design something and you're unsure of the placement of the logo, then revert back to the brand guidelines and like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Okay, we're keeping it top left, like you said, or bottom left or whatnot.
Or even like the colours, like with certain logos, you can't put, let's say, a white logo on a light background because you're not going to see. Like even like little small things like that. Some people don't think of, or you just see certain logos. Like, why would you have your logo that colour on that? Don't make no sense. Why are you going to do that? But then they don't have the knowledge in it. These are the kind of things that I think, as designers, you should be letting your clients know these things. Yeah. And clients, you need to listen to your designers. If they know and they're professional, you should listen.
Yeah. It's similar to like when you got the promoters asking you to do flyers. And you're like, all right, and cool, what's the theme? Is there any ideas? Like, oh, I'll just do anything, I trust you. And it's just like, bro, I can't just do anything.
So vague, innit?
And then that's my time as well. If I do something, you look at it. I've had it happen. I've had it happen with logos. Like, oh, I'll just do anything, I trust you. Your logo's a bad boy. I'm just like, bro. Then I've done something. And a man said, oh, looks all right. I'm not in love with it though. And I'm just like, well, why didn't you tell me what you know what I'm trying to say? Or they'll say, oh, not feeling it. And I'm just like,
I kick myself every time I do that, It's like, I know, obviously I know I'm good at what I do in it. But at the same time, when people just say, I'll do what you want, they could be thinking, you don't know where their mind's taking them. You show them something and their mind's like way over there. Yeah. So it's like, I think, as we said previously, always get people to give you, ask the questions. As a designer, you should be asking the questions. What do you
100%.
want? What do you want things to look like? And don't start until you have these simple information, because that way it just stops you having to waste time creating something. And it could be a great design that you've done, but because that client has something else in their mind, it's a waste of time now.
That's what I say about going on back to e-learning. When we speak and with stakeholders and, like, say, finance or whatnot, we're like, oh, we want this course. We need people to do this course. Like, but why? And why does it need to be a course? Why can't it just be a PDF? Why? Yeah, why? But that's one technique that we use as well, is the 5 whys. Because normally when you ask why 5 times, by the 5th time you get down to the core detail of the reason, and you normally find out that it's not what they started off with in the first place. So ask the question 5 times, and you usually get down to the real reason of why that
makes a lot of sense though. Because sometimes when you do ask the question why, and they say they don't know, it's like, so you just want this because of what?
Yeah, exactly.
And then when a professional gives you advice on it, and they're like, no, it's like, okay.
Well, yeah, where do we go from here? It's like, well, obviously you need to go back to the drawing board and then come back to me when
there has to be a why.
There's got to be a why, because that's what it's about, is understanding the why and the what. but you need the why first to be able to deliver the what. You know what I
100%.
mean? So,
Because again, it's like that's how. Let's say when you're creating a brand or whatever, that's what tells the story. The why is the story. You have to
100%.
know why.
yeah.
Why are you even a brand? Oh, because then once you start telling the story, that why is when people are asking why, the question's answered.
Get answered.
Yeah,
Bare
for real.
wise.
Bare wise. Yeah, why? Yeah, bare
Why
wise.
is that?
I hear it still.
Oh, that is funny. But yeah, that is, it's true. It's essential. It's essential because obviously before you even kick off, you know, some of the questions that you ask is like what, as you said, what's the tone, your target audience, which is the main thing. Have you got any ideas that you've got in mind already? That's normally one that's big because people bring ideas to you, and it's almost like, okay, just email them over, and then that starts conversation if you're not getting anywhere. So yeah, it's important.
I notice when you say that to clients, you've got clients that want to start a business, and then you're asking them these things, and they're just like, oh, they're clueless, but they learn from you as well. So when you're giving them that structure, you'll see they'll go away and they return the next day and like, actually, my target audience is this.
Yeah.
Actually, these are my colours. Before that, it's just like, oh, do this design for me, please, because my brethren's got a business and I want a business too. It's just like, that's not a big enough reason. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But when you give them the structure, they learn from it, they go away, and then you'll see it. They've actually got a creative side. Do you know what I'm trying to say? I find it a lot. I'll do some work for someone and they'll give me something basic to do. And I'm like, right, cool. This is the type of target audience. We're going to go with something a bit more formal.
Yeah.
Something clean. We're going to use like, you know, your blacks and your golds and your whites. If it's some sort of like, you know, luxury type of brand or party, and they'll see the design, and because they see what direction it's going in, they add more stuff.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
You've
So,
almost opened the can of worms, which is in a good way though, where
Yeah.
it's like, yo, you've opened their mind.
Exactly.
So I've had clients where it's like, oh, I didn't think of that, you know. Oh, and then you open up that subject for them, and then they kind of they can see the vision a bit more, and it's like, oh yeah,
and that's what that separates the professionals. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And this is why it's reflected in price too.
You have to like our jobs is to guide our clients as much as we can learn from our clients as well. We have to guide them because we want them to hit their target audience. We want to better their brand or to get people in the event or whatever it is they want to do. But it's like you have to collab together. Same time, there might be certain things we might not agree with, but it's like finding a balance because they have to remember, okay, we're the professionals and we know and we have experience in this, but at the same time, you're the client. We want you to be happy with the final outcome. We
100%.
want. So it's just like you have to find a balance between the two.
And the thing is, we want the best for you as well. It's not like we just want it. It's
100%.
not a tick box like, oh yeah,
No,
that's one done.
Not just doing this for the money.
Yeah.
Like, if we're locked in, let's do this. Like, I want to see your brand do good.
Yeah.
I don't want my time to be wasted. I don't want you to be having a business and it's not doing well.
And it's not doing well. And that's the thing as well. Like, that's why I always, you know, after 4 months, I do feel like evaluating is another thing that we don't really touch upon as well. Like, how often do we, you know, check in on our clients like 6 months later, yo, how's the business going? What else do you need? Is there anything else that we can, you know, that we can do to make sure you're hitting your KPIs, your objectives, you're getting what you've asked for, you know, and that's the big thing.
We was talking about that the other day, and he just asking like, oh, how are you tracking like the KPIs and stuff? I was like, you know what, I wasn't even thinking about that, but it's something that we should do more often, or I should do more often. I don't know if you two do.
I think we do it organically, you know, because another way, just to explain it in more layman terms, if we're helping a promoter with their brand for a nightclub event, we can do the branding for the actual brand itself. We do the flyer as well, but there's different aspects of marketing within that event. So you can do like a flyer, you go to the event, you'll see that there's like, they've got some balloons up. Now, putting your logo on the balloon, putting the drink promo on the balloons. In the summertime, you'll have people like big up DJ Jeezy. He has fans, and the fans has got his logo on it. That's just branding. That's just top tier branding. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So little things like that is where we can see, okay, this is where we can take it. So when we work with another client, you can offer that to them and say, look, this is another way you can maximize your brand. You can have balloons, you can have fans, you can have merch, you can have on cups. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So I think when I'm saying we do it organically, we do it without realizing.
Yeah.
We're looking at each event, we're attending certain things. Maybe more you than me. I'm just a lab rat. I'm a lab rat. But you see from like the images and the videos, and each dance that happens, you see that their brand gets bigger and they're using more design resources. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So yeah, that's another way. Still
Thinking outside the box, innit?
Yeah, we should start doing that. You see, like
I was trying to drag me out the house.
not going to the event. I'm not saying we have to. Obviously, we should certain times. You get me?
Yeah, of course.
But more so, just saying, okay, cool. We created this flyer for the event, just to see how many people attended that event from the flyer, and let's see how many people attended previous. So let's say when we didn't work with them or whatever, and just see like, does it make a difference or not?
Yeah.
You know what? I like to shout out my clients because after about a week, I'm seeing like, yo, sold out. You get me?
Oh,
And they're like, yo, can you do a sold out flyer? I'm just like, all right, then let's see where this is going. So lets me know whatever I'm doing is proper, clean and sharp. You get me?
I think that's the big thing going forwards, especially with everything going on data. You can never not include data in any sort of work that you do because it's so key.
It's feedback,
It's
innit?
vital. It's vital. It's so vital.
Yeah.
You know, because you need something to revert back to and track back and say, okay, look, that didn't go so well down here, and you know what, we'll try this way. Like you said, there's loads of avenues, and it's just about, because there's always new stuff all the time, and it's just keeping up with it and having those ideas.
You know what I used to do? Back in the day when flyers were a thing, like before like the use of social media, you used to actually get the flyers printed and you'd see them in the windows in Caspian, the posters, you see them, people on the street, everything. And it's like them days there, I used to like collect flyers because I was getting into designing them, so I used to collect flyers. When I was in Caspian, I'll pick up bare flyers I didn't even like. And what I would do is I look at the what I saw were issues and problems, and I would rectify it and say, okay, on my flyer, I'm not doing that. I'm not having whole heap of multicolored logos or whole heap of different fonts.
Yeah.
I was able to create my own like style guide. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So that's another way of kind of like reverse engineering.
Yeah. It's like you literally getting another style of research in it, and that's a sick idea.
I think people are scared to research these days, or they don't know what researching is. They'll look at something and just copy it.
It's so vital, isn't it? It's so vital. Do the research first, and
I think that's like that part of design. I enjoy it.
yeah,
It's like when you're just taking in bare information from different things. Like, how can I link this to this?
Are you making it yours though?
Yeah.
Some people are just like, oh, they've got that on there, I'm just going to do exactly the same. Thinking people won't realise.
it's silly.
And the whole reason you're getting a designer to do something for you, so it's different from somebody else's.
Yeah.
They may have their own style, so their style of flyer may look similar to their last one, but the whole idea is to sell the event and sell the theme, the colours, the brand, get people interested to buy into that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say?
I feel like more people are creating brands around their events, more so now. Because I think they're seeing, like, when you do create a brand around your event, you get more people start connecting with the brand, and then as soon as they see that, they know what to expect. So they're like changing it up all the time.
There's more use for graphics though, because you've got the internet, so you can put it on different platforms, different styles, motion designs, videos, still images, competitions, raffles. Do you know what I'm saying?
There's
Whereas
so
with a flyer and you're handing it out, there's only so much you can do just handing out one flyer, you get me? But social media you can use, so there's more design resources that are required.
There is.
Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I think even with flyers now, people are going down the route of like more landing pages and that now. So instead of a flyer, because it just holds more information, and you can you can collect, you can get data on it as well. Like
as soon as they've got a next event, they can just email it out.
That's it, and it's WhatsApp. Normally at the bottom is a contact form. People fill that in, or or click to a link to buy tickets, whether it's going to Skiddle or whatever. There's ways now of capturing people's info.
Yeah, you don't have to go ticket shop no more. Back in the day, you used to go Tempest, Hatman to get tickets.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was Hatman. There was a record shop up Selly Oak as well that I used to go to just to get the baseline tickets. You get me?
Yeah.
Now you can just press the link from Skiddle or Blocko.
Yeah.
and just buy it off your phone. You get me? Quick Apple Pay.
Thing.
And it's
Your nice emails in your emails, a QR code.
Yeah, you get your QR code.
It's all about convenience now. So
that's what people pay for now, innit?
Exactly.
It's convenient.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that used to be annoying though. You know, certain times when you have to buy it off a ticket man and you have to go link him somewhere.
That used to be long, innit?
Long,
Yo. Meeting, waiting on car parks.
yeah, like you're picking up a drawer. So
Yeah.
Them days there,
My
man.
days.
Like even giving out flyers, like before you'd have bare people. It's like you're coming out paparazzi, bam, 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 bam,
Yeah.
bare flyers. Now you just might see 1 or 2 people.
Yeah, it's tied
Then we
down.
big up Flyer Man. He used to be always active.
he's a legend, you know.
Fireman
He's
still-
still,
yeah, still
outside,
there.
you know. He's
Man like Flyer
outside.
Man.
Still there. Do you think that could go full circle? Do you think it might be a thing where people, almost thinking back, as almost like a
Go
throwback,
back.
But do flyers again.
come back and
Yeah,
do
people do flyers
and-
again now.
and old school like
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like it though because there's more things you can do. I'm not even going to give away no ideas.
Yeah.
I'm not gatekeeping, but I've got clients and I want to implement them styles on the flyers that they're giving out. So just watch this space.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah,
I'm saying.
say no
watch
more.
this space. Yeah, I nearly gave something away then.
yeah.
But yeah, watch this
Do you
space.
feel like if people do start doing it again, I think it's something that you can take home and remember that day.
Nostalgia.
Well, that as well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, even let's say with music artists, some people are starting to like do tapes as well, just for merch, or even doing vinyls. Not saying people don't use vinyl
Yeah.
anymore, but still having something
As a
something physical
that's
that people can buy.
Yeah.
Because let's say if your phone locks off today, there's some people you won't be able to listen to.
Yeah.
If you've got a vinyl or something that's physical, you
Yeah.
could still listen to it if you've got a device to listen to it anyway.
That's what
You get me?
when back to your vinyl.
Yeah, it's like
talking about.
I want to say
earlier,
it's
innit?
like a sense of achievement, but it's like an object. It's a thing that you got that you own.
Yeah.
Ownership. You know what I'm trying to say? And I'm starting to build up my vinyl collection as well. So
Yeah.
So you're looking
Nah,
to
big
start
ups on
DJing soon as well.
Nah. The DJ thing, I leave that to
Vinyl
like the
mix,
cousins and that. You know what I'm trying to say? They can do their thing, but for me, you get me. I'm starting to I like to buy the physicals now. You know what I'm
Yeah.
trying to say? Because when you just see, like when you're streaming, all right, say whether you got Spotify or Apple, it's just like another thing on your phone. You put your phone down, that's it. But you've paid your money for it.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
some like
Holds no value in it.
yeah, I want to have. If I'm paying my money, I want to have it. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It's, like, it's mine. It's ownership. It's mine. Whereas if my phone locks off or my internet that I pay for locks off, the streaming service that I've been paying for, all my music's gone.
It's peak.
You get me? So
Yeah, it's
I
like
think
is
Jamie always
annoying,
talks
fam.
about that as well. Like we should have physical copies of stuff, and being an artist shouldn't be forced to do anything just for streams or for views.
Yeah.
Create it. Just
He's
create the
he's
work,
sick.
man.
He's a sick business man because he always thinks outside the box as well with stuff like
Very
that.
smart.
always a step ahead.
I think someone posted something on the. I don't know if it was you, P. About Akon. Did you post? Was it you? You might not have been you. I saw it on Instagram.
Why bye?
About he was on about ringtones. He was saying, "Yo, selling ringtones like back in the day." And he was saying, "Yo, I'm making like £2 something or $2 something off my music.
Yeah.
But people are buying these ringtones for like that's 20 seconds for like $5. And he said, I went back to my contracts and I'm thinking, yo, what? And he said, what? You telling me that's not in the contract? And he was like, yo, put that in the contract or whatever he said.
Really?
So now he started making. He said he even made tunes just for ringtones, and he was making more money off ringtones than he was doing on the numbers on his tunes. But it's about thinking outside the box, like as you said with collectibles and that. Like artists are probably thinking a bit differently about things as well.
You know what I was thinking the other day? Sorry to cut you out.
No.
Should us as graphic designers, get royalties? You know, like how producers make the tune, and then they get a percentage, so they can. I don't know how it works. If they give it to the artist, but they say, I want it credited, and every time that gets a spin, I want 10%.
Yeah.
Like, because they don't do that in design.
Nah, it
That's
doesn't.
not
Does
true,
it?
you know.
It could.
Got my head thinking. But
Yeah.
it's true, because even if you was to get a small percentage of certain songs, like just for creating that cover that everyone's gonna look at every time they see that song.
It could be a
you're
thing.
gonna
I don't know if it's something that you'd probably talk about it within your contracts when you are exchanging work, and it's like, yo, I want every time this gets featured on, from here going forwards, whether it's a flipping on the header of a Word document or whatever, it's royalties.
If a music producer can do it, graphic designer
Yeah,
can do it.
yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying?
What is it? Legal properties. Legal properties, I think it is.
Don't know. We're gonna have to get someone.
Yeah,
to,
gonna have to dive it.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm trying to say,
yeah.
because if I design something and I know, that person looks like they're gonna, or it's an investment. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
it is a thing. It is a thing.
True. I think some people do it with like clothing though. Like let's say okay, every T-shirt that's sold, you'll get a percentage of that T-shirt.
But you see, you can do it in clothing, you can do it in music. Should be able to do it through design.
Yeah, 100%.
And if not, gonna have to
look into that.
Yeah,
gonna have to test it out still.
Intellectual property. That's what it's called. So basically, that talks about the ownership of your work. So like for instance, if you create a design and then some people you can either own it or they own it. So I think it's in that where you kind of say, well, if you're using it for this,
the
then
rights to
then you
I know
owe
you
me
can
some
have that with like logos as well.
Yeah. Intellectual property. That's another. That would be something that's quite big still.
That'd be an incentive for music artists because music's expensive.
It's dope.
And recording it, getting it mixed down, getting the cover artwork. A lot of people haven't got the upfront funds for it.
Yeah.
Whether you're getting a record company to back you on that or not, it could be a case where you just put it as a percentage when it's the tune starts making whatever.
Yeah.
Then that share goes to the designer.
Yeah.
Like the geezer who did the tune for Lion King. Can't remember his name, but his mum, instead of taking like an upfront payment of 20 bags or 80 bags, she said to Disney, what do you call it? She took a percentage, made millions off that. Even to this day, he still gets paid. This is what I'm trying to say. So going into the business side of things, that's where my head's at.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think we can do it.
Yeah,
definitely.
yeah.
And that's the thing. Sometimes with certain things, you're not even like say you need a big percentage to make good money from things.
Yeah.
So it's like with streams and that.
Yeah, if I hear it's Disney,
being clever and
if I hear it's Disney, give me a little 2% or 1.5. I'm happy with a 1.5. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
It's gonna be
you just know that's gonna be going for years.
Yeah. The longevity on
Like
it
your
is
youths
mad.
All of them.
Yeah, put it in your kid's name.
Yeah,
Man.
it's like Michael Jordan, Air. I don't know if you've seen Air. Is it Air? Yeah, where it talks about it's a film and it's based on like obviously how he got
the film.
The film, yeah. And
about.
that's
yeah.
interesting because the whole trainer's like just based on him. Yeah, how
the whole story is
and
very
how much
interesting.
money he's made from one crep. Like it's just
It's
insane.
mad interesting because that's the only night trainer that don't have a night tick on it.
Yeah.
It's got the jump man.
It's just got the jump man on it.
It's
so
mad.
that's the whole brand's just based on him. Like, but because Knight were going to go down the pan, and obviously getting him on board, it just changed the game for them completely. Designing him his own trainer, took a risk on someone, and I think that's what it's about as well with us. It's kind of like we're only one step away from being on the front of that cover of Disney or
Of course.
No,
so
it's true. You just never know when that opportunity is.
You just don't know. You
never know.
Yeah, I wonder if ChatGPT knows. I might have to just type a little 1 2 sentence and say, can graphic designers
Probably will
get
guide you on
You
how
know
you
what I'm
can do it, to be honest. You get me? The
Is it
information's out
What was
there.
it called? Legal what? Legal property or something?
Yeah.
All I'm saying is if anyone knows about this stuff, drop that in the comments because I will read that and I'll go research into it. But until then, it might have to be a ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Get me? Get me a free game and that.
Get the guidance
You know
on
what
that.
I'm saying? I've been
100%.
using it recently though. Even though I was against it,
I've noticed.
I took for us.
From the last podcast, I was saying to P, I messaged him, popped up saying,
like,
he's using it now. Then
yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. People getting on my case. Like some people on my side, like, nah, I ain't using it really because some people are just old school. You get me? But you have to move for the times.
Intellectual property.
Is that what it is?
Intellectual property. That's it. Go on, carry on. Sorry.
I'm recording this anyway, so I'm gonna when I watch it back, I'll know what it is. But yeah, I thought, let me take for us because there's got to be a way where it can be used to your advantage. I don't agree with people using it solely as a designer because everyone now thinks they're a designer. Nobody wants to pay designers because they're using ChatGPT. You get me?
Yeah.
But I thought, you know what? I'm gonna put it out there so designers can see this and realize this ain't taking our job.
Yeah.
So
bro.
there's a reel on my Instagram. If people get a chance, it's Vinz_Instagram. Go follow up the page and whatever. Go click it, like it. But I was literally had a Aaliyah tune on my TV. Obviously YouTube, it was on shuffle and whatnot. But yeah, man, a little bit of Aaliyah can run. You get me? If you don't know about Aaliyah, get to know. But that was on. I was sorting out a few like my PlayStation games and whatever. I had my GTA there, you get me? So I literally looked at GTA. So I filmed the reel in how it actually happened. The tune was on and it gave me that inspiration, you get me? So I thought, nah, I'm going to do something. You know when you creative juices just start flowing, pause for that.
Just kicks in.
You know, like you know when the creative side just things just link together. Yeah, it just linked together. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So yeah, I used that. So when I chat GPT, I found some images. Obviously you grew up playing GTA, so man know what the cover looks like. So I got like a beach background, a Ferrari, a Ducati bike, a picture of Aaliyah and DMX, a picture of Aaliyah. I put it into ChatGPT and I just typed in create a GTA style illustration of this image, and it generated each image. Depending on how much images you use per day, you get like a limit. So yeah, it's done that. I've cut the images out and whatnot, placed them like I was just doing a normal design. That was a lot quicker, imagine, because I can do illustration as well in it. If I was to illustrate each image, it would have took me a long time. It would have been a project that probably would have lasted me a couple of days. You get me? Or probably like a week. I've done this in within an hour.
Yeah.
Probably half an hour.
Rapid.
Quickly. When the images are generated, I've done it. So that's what's the word now?
Efficiency.
Productivity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? Quick.
Yeah.
Done that now, made it look like it was a game, and I thought, yeah, putting this out. The response I'm getting, it will say on my Instagram, this person's followed you from your reel, and I just said, all right, cool. This is. It was one for the designers, that reel, just to show you that it's not taking our jobs.
Yeah.
This is how you can use it to your advantage, and it can speed things up. Obviously, if you've got a
100%.
client that wants an illustration and they want to blow it up on the building, you're gonna have to go in Adobe Illustrator and create that.
Yeah.
So it's not a cheat code, ChatGPT, but if you can use it for something quick,
Yeah.
especially for social media, quick
Yeah.
advertising and marketing,
Because
you know what I'm saying?
that's the thing. Obviously, I don't know if we were going to jump onto that, but it's working smarter, not harder, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's what it's about. So you doing that now, like I said, it's 4 days worth of work. That's a client sorted. You're on to your next client,
Exactly.
and that's how people need to see it as AI is.
But I wouldn't want people to get lazy and think that's
Nah.
the way forward. You know what I'm saying?
'Cause it's not always going to
your
work.
quality as a designer is just going to go out the window.
Yeah.
Especially if ChatGPT shuts down one day and you've got people sitting there with big money and a job and you can't do nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you're like, oh, I can't do it today. Why can't I do it today? You could do it yesterday. Oh, because I ain't got...
Websites down.
Yeah. You always got to know how to do things manually.
Yeah.
You get me?
Yeah. And that's where it reverts back to the skill, the raw skill of just being able to illustrate, as you said. Because if things hit the fan, I don't know if I can swear, things hit the fan, then you know you've got your skills to rely on, which a lot of people ain't. So yeah, that's why I feel like ChatGPT is like, for us, it's very resourceful. We can, you know, AI. We can use that to speed up our processes.
100%. And like I was saying before, it's just like certain stock images that you can't just find.
What you showed me
can
the
just
other
create
day.
them now, like, which
Joke.
helps. So it's just like, yeah, man. It's just, I think it's a very good tool to use.
Yeah.
But then I just feel like some clients, because they can do it so easily,
Yeah.
they think, oh well, I've made this, and it's like, yeah, okay,
Yeah.
change the wording then, change that, move that. There's still a lot that needs to. Yes, ChatGPT can do a lot, and it is really good. But there's still certain things that you're gonna need a designer to do.
Yeah.
It's just good for referencing ideas, but I don't think it's at a stage where I can say, oh, I'm gonna lose my job to AI.
Yeah.
And even so, I just learned to create the prompts then.
Yeah,
I
serious.
know
And
to
that,
create
that's,
Alright then.
that's the main thing, isn't it? It's a prompting. Some people can't prompt. Prompt is a whole job on its own.
Yeah,
I think I've seen jobs saying, yo, prompting for companies now. I'm thinking, yo, it's madness. But I think, yeah, if you get the prompts right, able to achieve what you want, because you still need the vision. It's still you need human aspects when it comes to design. It's still, you can't just rely on a machine. You get me? So yeah,
Big facts.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I was gonna say is I hope people have noticed that we've got our cards. Yeah, the famous debate that we had, because I did send them off. Anyways, they've came now. We've got them on the table. You see that the pink ones are questions. The purple ones are topics. So if you've got any questions you want to ask, just DM us. We'll write them on the card, and then on the next episodes we'll read them out. I think what we're gonna go into now. Wanna pick a topic?
Yeah. Let's go for it. See what we got here. So the topic we got is networking.
Interesting.
So networking, lads. What's your views on networking?
Like what we're saying about keeping things modern, QR codes and whatnot. You see, like business cards. I've noticed on some business cards, the event we went to the other day, the Adobe event, got handed a few business cards, and they're very simple now. You have someone's logo on one side and literally a QR code on the other side, and then a smiley face in the corner, and it's like, okay, I do like it because it's clever, but at the same time, it's losing its kind of like interest, because I could just scan that and put the card down.
Yeah.
If I'm getting a card, I actually want a card I want to keep.
Yeah.
But having a chance to see some new creators come through, like I network in different ways.
Yeah.
I don't really go to a lot of events. When I do go to events, speak to one or two people. Some people are aware of who I am, and then I keep it moving. So the Adobe one, it was like we would talk about the Adobe event for a little bit. It was a good showcase. For those who don't know, Adobe is the creative program that we use to create our graphics.
Big up Adobe.
Big them up every time.
Custer Factory, they hosted an event at Custer Factory where they show new programs. So that can be like Photoshop on phones. It can be how AI is used in these programs. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
I was shocked at that.
Yeah, and that's another thing.
I was more shocked at the free bar though.
Free bar.
Free bar.
I know, I hear it.
Yeah, carry on. Sorry.
But yeah, that bar ain't free. We've been paying this subscription.
It's true, actually.
See the money we're getting. See the money we're putting into this subscription.
Please.
Yeah, man, we bought them drinks. So I claimed my free drink.
I could have done still.
Trust me,
right.
we paid for the building now. But big up Adobe. That was a good event. So what do you lot think about the event itself? Was it what you expected? You know, did you meet anyone that was, you know, that you've networked with? Who did you network well with people? Like what did you think about it?
Yeah, I thought it was good, man. I was like I said, I was impressed with the free bar. Wasn't expecting that. But
did you get alcoholic or something?
No, yeah, I'm not. No, I just had Fantas.
That's right. You didn't even have no liquor, did you?
I had one or two, but
you did.
So yeah, I saw us you with a copper bag.
You did still. Can't lie.
I was waxing that
free.
tree.
It's alcohol free.
Right.
Yeah, I wish I would have caught train. Yeah, it was good. It was good as Vince said, just networking. It was interesting seeing, speaking to people that were just fresh out of uni, because that's where we were, like, I don't know how many years ago.
we was there, we was just there.
10 plus, say the years. But yeah, obviously speaking to them and just seeing, I was asking them questions like, well, what does the course look like now? What does, a graphic design course look like now? How have you found it and stuff like that? But they were also interested in our side, like working with clients and stuff, because they're not there yet. And obviously just seeing some of their work and whatnot and speaking to them, and I thought it was really good. And what you said about the business cards as well, because I handed out a couple. But it's good to just, like you said, you want that business card that you can, knowing that you can revert back to it. So like, it's left in your jacket pocket. 3 weeks later you put it, oh yeah, I forgot about this person. Because that's what they're there for, really.
Or something you want to take home. So I think people still need to be creative
on
with
the fridge or something. Because that person might walk past that every day and think, oh yeah, I forgot. I've got to contact my man now in 2, and it might be like 4 weeks down the line, it might be a year down the line, but you pretend there's a potential client there. But yeah, just touching on what you said there. But yeah, it was good overall. Yeah,
because I feel like as a creative, touching on the business cards again, it's like, that's the face of your business for that short moment of time. When I leave you, I'm going to look at this card and think, this is you as a creative. So it has to look right, has to feel right. And yeah, man, it's important, business cards still. I mean, if you are going to be giving them out anyway.
I'm just topping up my parking.
That's cool, man. It's cool. Tap up that parking. How long's parking?
I got 4 minutes left.
4 minutes? Yo.
I think our one's for 4 hours on there.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, by the way, you got 18 minutes.
80 minutes.
I got 36 left on this.
Dash on
Another hour.
Another
hour still. All good. Now, you know what I was going to say?
Yeah.
Luckily for me, I had Instagram, because guess where I left my business cards from?
Where?
In the armrest of my car.
Yeah,
I was screwed. I like to say to people are giving me their cards and they're looking at me like, where's yours? And I'm saying, I left mine in the car, but you can add my Instagram. So I suppose you gotta have a bit of the gift of the gab as well.
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of networking events. I'm gonna go to some more, but that was a first for me. I've had people walk up to me literally shaking my hand, and I'm looking at them like, don't know you from somewhere, kind of thing. And then they're just like, they're just talking to me. Nah, not even. Not even, but they're just. I had to be honest with myself and realize, you know what? I'm probably not the best at networking, like face to face. So that's another reason why I want to do it more, come out my comfort zone more.
That's why I rated what you said, because you were saying that, I'm not really used to this, but after about 10 minutes, I could see you talking to certain people and you was networking. I thought, I rate that, because it's not everyone can do it. It's a whole new ball game for us as well. Like,
I think it's not easy.
It's not easy.
I think a lot of creatives we are like, because we're just at home at our computers.
Yeah. And if you're introvert as well, it's you know what I mean.
Yeah. So being in those social places can feel like a bit overwhelming at times. But I feel once you start breaking through, because sometimes you can get in your head and think, they're gonna do the thing on chatting shit. Do they want to talk to me? This, that, the third. But then once you just conversate with them, don't have to be about design, could just be about random stuff. And then you get to know people, because sometimes you have some networking events, you might just be like, some people are just like just going through people quick. Like they just want to get around the whole room. Then you have others where people just sit and stand and chat to someone the whole period. It just depends what have you gone there to do. Sometimes you can build up good relationship with someone, or you can just be quick and just get everyone's information, where it's like it's not the same.
You see, for people who struggle with networking, how do you think? What could we say that can help them with networking besides having like, okay, safe? We went there. What was I wearing? I was wearing like an Adidas jacket, and straight away when I stepped in the room, I thought, you know what? Yeah, man's drippy and that man look, sharp. But should have had a Grids and Guide podcast hoodie on. Should have.
Promote yourself,
product placement, and
obviously that helps to people to question, or who are you, or what's this about. At the same time, if they don't ask you, they might just see it and look it up. So it's good in that aspect. But at the same time, I feel, back to your question, what do you think people should do? I think if you don't like talking, have cards or flyers, just something you can just give to people. You don't have to say, can you take this? Can you take this? You don't have to have that big conversation with them. But when you do talk to people, you get to break that barrier, and you never know, like that conversation might open you up to opportunities.
I think a big one as well is don't be afraid to tell people what you do. In terms of tell people what you do, because it's a skill. At the end of the day, it's a craft, and people, how are you changing people's perspectives, or building big brands? Like, it's important. People want to hear what you do, because they're interested. They've obviously seen you and come up to you for a reason. So it's just, don't be afraid to kind of express yourself, I'd say.
True.
Big up a man like Sean CB Media. He thought I was a DJ. He was like, what do you do? He goes, let me guess, a DJ. And I was like, nah, designer firm. He's like, he's like, but still, I'm trying to say, that just sparks a bit of conversation.
Straight up,
you get me? You see what each other does on Instagram, you follow each other, and he knows people, man, know. Do you know what I'm trying to say? He's worked with events that man's worked with and stuff, so he's just creating that network. Do you know what I'm saying? And like the topic itself, that's how you network, you get me? So
100%.
Yeah, man.
100%.
That's true. And another thing as well, it's just like when you do go to networking events, it's like you can give people knowledge as well. Like, let's say with those uni students, they're fresh out of uni, they're talking to us. We've been doing it for like 10 plus years, been doing graphics, working with different clients, organizations, companies, whatever. So then when we're talking to them and giving them information, they're just taking it all in. But it feels weird being in that position, because I remember when I was them, like looking like, I'm going to talk to people that have been doing it for time.
I looked across the room. He looked like the Messiah. He's just standing there, and they're all looking up to him, and he's just like doing this. You know what I'm trying to say? And then when man's walked off, he just parted it like Moses. He just walked straight through them. You get me?
Everyone's like, everyone's like, he's like taking notes. Like,
tell you what it is, it's the dreadlocks, you know. The dreadlocks, you know. He looked at me and walked straight past me. Walked straight past me. I was like, what, you don't like man's code? I was like, yo. What you like, I'm trying to say.
Don't you want to hear what I've got to say?
So I think that's another thing. If you look interesting as well. Because remember, that's your personality, that's your character. Don't be afraid to be who you are.
100%.
You get me?
It's like when I was at when I was working at BBC, we had a group of students come in, and they were like, I think I got. Did I get someone kind of said, Jason, go and speak to the students and that. and it was almost like I got voluntold. So, so voluntold, man. I didn't even expect it. Like turned up.
Trust me, is that even a word? Was that your thing?
No, I've heard it.
Oh, they get that patent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Voluntold. So yeah, voluntold to go out and speak. I was like, what? So I got these students, and then like they were just asking there was another colleague, and there was another colleague, and they were like, how did you get into to here and stuff like that? And and looking back to when we were at uni and we had people come in and we were like, yo, I'd love to be like in that position now. I wonder how they're getting there, like what are they doing and stuff like that. But when you are in that position and you're telling the story, it's like, yo, yeah, man. Like,
it reminds you like how much you've actually done, isn't it? Like how much you've gone through.
Yeah.
It's like when they're fresh out, it's like, yo, you got a lot of learning to do.
It's true.
But at the same time, we can learn a lot from them as well.
100%.
That's what I have noticed. Like I'm working with one guy who's at uni now. His name Ryan, creating a brand called Launch Labs, which will be out soon. So working with him, he uses this software called Notion. Like I've never used Notion before.
We spoke about that, didn't we?
But then since I've been looking into it, like, this is how you can make, like, let's say us as freelancers, you can just put all your different jobs you're working on, projects, invoices, just links everything together.
Okay.
So you can go on there and it's just like, just makes everything easier. Projects, what do you need to do in that project? Everything's there. You can link, like I said,
just formulate processes in there.
So is it like Monzo?
Artboard.
You know how Monzo, you can put all your accounts on a thing.
Yeah, it's basically because you can even put your contracts in there and like a button.
I didn't even know that.
Not on Monzo, on Notion. Yeah,
okay.
And have like a pay button, can't you? Like
I didn't even know. This was I'm just on that journey of learning Notion. It's like, you know what, this is something that can be very beneficial.
100%.
So again, that's from me having conversations with someone who's still in uni. I'm still learning as well. I think that's an important thing. Like no matter what age you are, you should always be learning if you're not doing what you're doing.
100%. Because obviously they, especially that generation as well, they're close to a lot of the technology. They're still within learning stuff.
They pick up all the new things. The new thing comes out, they're just like, boom, can use it. You get me? My daughter showed me things on my phone. Obviously, man's still up to date, but there's certain things I may not use. But she showed me stuff that, you can do this, you can do that. And I'm just like, I knew it, but she's doing it fast. And I'm just like, slow down. You know what I'm trying to say?
Because at once upon a time, that was us. Like,
We've got that time to play on the phone. Like, I can remember like having my mom's phone and you just settings. What does this do? What does this? You're just playing with it. Yeah. And then you're learning it. So then you can show them stuff and they're like, I didn't know you could do that. They're not playing on. You've got time to play on the phone.
Nah, I ain't got time.
I've got to feed you lot and
It's
and
true.
that's kind of weaving that role now, but it's like we can't stay there because we have to learn, we have to be active.
But I think with that as well, it's again that thing about working smarter, not harder, is delegating some of that work, and I think that's what comes back to networking. So I'll go out and see a photographer or a videographer. It's like, I've got a bit of work that's coming. I ain't got the time to do that. Can you pick this up? And it's about networking in that way as well. Because a lot of them uni students, we could be like, whoa,
outsourcing.
Exactly, outsourcing work, and
also having like an apprentice as well.
100%. They'll be grateful for it. You know what I mean? Because it's experience for them at the end of the day.
I've got a friend,
and that's why they network with you and us.
My brethren. Well, I don't know if you know of CS Visuals.
I've seen about on Instagram and social.
Yeah, he's got a studio. We've mentioned him before on here. It's Man's People, and you see like he's got a studio, Tone Set Studios. He's actually got like an apprentice there who's helping him. So if you go on the Tone Set website, the website, and also the Instagram and CS's Instagram page, you can see he's putting out a lot more content now because he's got more people in the studio. And it's he does like these YouTube videos now where he does a video every day. And
like 5 minutes, isn't it?
Yeah, or even shorter than that. And he's just talking about his process and anyways,
I'll have to follow him up still.
He's got like an apprentice now, and it's helped his productivity a lot.
Yeah.
So it's always good to have like someone in your shadow,
100%.
like the younger generation that are in uni and stuff, because they're looking for that work and experience. See, when I was at uni, obviously, man passed and graduated and stuff. But when you're trying to look for a job fresh out of uni, nobody wants to hire you because they're saying you haven't got industry experience. Yeah. So while you're at uni, it's good to work with someone who's in the industry because you've got that experience straight away. Yeah. So you can just land a job as soon as you come out, or be in that kind of vicinity of
in
people,
the environment, in it, and just being around, that's where that's where I got off with UP in terms of just the last one quickly, but we're going down that route because I got a job while we were in uni, weren't I? Didn't I? So I had a design job, basic doing e-learning, how I landed in e-learning at Top Styles. Went to do a placement there for a week, and then they took me on full time.
Oh, yeah,
remember so
that.
I was blasting to uni, and then finishing off working at Top Styles on the weekend, and in the week when I wasn't at uni, I was going to Leicester to do training, online training and stuff like that. So it was just constant. But it's always been inspiring seeing your journey, because obviously I've just worked for bigger organisations and bigger businesses, but seeing you work with, collaboration with and being within that environment. Now I'm trying to get into that space myself, you get me? So
but I think
transition across.
You going on the journey how you've got a lot of knowledge to bring back as a freelancer now, because you've been in certain spaces and you know how certain work patterns
that's true
need to run to like build a structure. You've got that now, whereas I've had to kind of learn and how do I, whereas you've been in that.
That's how we cross paths now, innit? And
again,
you get me?
This one is
networking
about, like,
again.
this here, networking now you're connected to, and we can all do work together.
100%.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Grids and Guides, about networking, creatives, clients, and let's just empower each other to learn more, know more, and show more. Because sharing your work's important, people.
100%.
This is the platform people need to remember. This is the stage, you get me, for you to cast your views, be creative, and also just to learn some gems that we're giving out. That's another thing as well, just to quickly go through. We ain't even got through any of the questions, We've got a topics card, which we just spoke on.
Question cards.
Yeah, can you do the honours and getting some of the questions?
Question time.
So what the first one is.
Right, so question 1. How do you get into your creative flow?
I suppose like how you start your process and stuff.
Yeah. Again, for me, I think ideation, which is looking at existing materials. I'd probably start off with, which most creatives do, start off with like an artboard, or if that's Illustrator, or I might have to try out that one that they showed at Adobe Max, the Adobe event the other day. The one I'm for, the Adobe boards. I think that looks good. Obviously using
that's how you can generate ideas
and stuff.
Time.
But yeah, generally just create an artboard, and then I start getting, well, we call them mood boards, don't we? So we start getting ideas, based on the subject. And then I'd probably do a word cloud as well. Words that are based around that subject. List out the words, and then that kind of branch off.
Oh, like a brainstorm.
Basically like a brainstorm, yeah. So there's apps online where you could just put a word in, and it will branch out and give you loads of words based on that word.
Okay.
And then you'll start to think of different ideas then, and it will almost kind of like a branch and tree off, and then get images, creative work, creative assets based on that, and then start implementing that in. But also alongside that, it's about telling a bit of a story as well, which I find is important. But
very important. Stories are very important.
I'd recommend storytelling. Still, there's loads of like online courses and information on it, but it's important when it comes to design, I think. So
what about you?
Yeah,
creative flow, similar. Obviously, looking at different types of design or artwork or things connected to what I'm about to design, and then I think I get more so into my flow state when I'm just designing.
Yeah,
not overthinking it. I'm just let me try this, let me try that, and then like sometimes going away for a bit and then coming back and like I can try this actually.
Let's
say you're working on the logo. Let's say the first day you're working on it, you kind of just like, I need to get this done. And then once you have that little break away from it and you come back, you're like, actually, let me try this. And you might do a bit more research. Let's say the next day, how else can I add on to this logo, for instance?
Yeah. Do you find taking a break as well?
Yeah, I think...
going for a walk, just looking around the environments and seeing billboards, stuff like that.
You need it, yeah. Because I feel like when I've had that break away from something, even if it's for a short amount of time, when I come back to it, it's like my design like elevates.
Yeah.
Because like I'm not not that I overthink when I'm creating it anyway, but I'm just like, I've got a basis now. So you know that stress of I need to get this done. Like that's
100.
no longer there. It's like, okay, I've got a base to work from. Okay, how can I elevate this? How can I make it look better? How can this tell the brand story even more?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think just like the playing stage, that's when I get into my flow, just playing with things.
Yeah. 100% hear it.
I'll be real with you. Just light some candles, play TT R&B. No, I'm joking. You know what it is though?
Settings is
Nah,
important.
Yeah. You know what it is?
Like,
I've got this thing that you put water in, diffuser, and you put that on, you put the little lights on. I do play music though, put on some Larry June. I'm listening to a lot of Larry June right now. Something that can just make me feel just cool, cool and calm.
Yeah.
And that kind of opens up my mind. My surroundings as well. If I'm in the lab at the moment, the colours are predominantly like I've got a black feature wall and the rest of the walls are white. I like black furniture too, and it just kind of keeps my mind open. If I've got too much colourful things around and I'm working on a certain project, I just like to change my environment sometimes. So I'll probably do some brainstorming. Like if I'm in my car, sometimes I park up and I sit there for about 20 minutes before I get out of my car and I'm just writing notes. Yeah. And then with them notes, I'm going on YouTube on my phone, finding a few references in the lab, slap on the tunes, put my water in the diffuser, good to go. Yeah. You get me? I'm in my happy, safe space. So
you're not slapping no essential oils in?
Yeah, obviously, you put the oils in. You put the oils in. Yeah, but you can't just put straight oil in there.
No, you need a little.
Yeah, get me like you're frying up plantain or something. Like, you know what I'm
saying? You never stated that, so I'm just saying, you're just having a diffuser.
I hear it.
That's like you putting essential oils in. Get me essential oils on
essential. Nah, I hear it still. Yeah, we put little 1-2 drop of coconut oil in there, and kind of thing there, lavender and all that. You know
like you said, it's settings, isn't it? Settings.
That's, you know what, that's mad. Like it's mad that you said that, because that is important for me as well. Like my space has to be clean. I have to clean around me. Again, it's either essential oils in the diffuser, incense stick, candles. Obviously, if it's late, then it's like the those sunset lights.
Okay.
And you have like the pink, and you can change the colours on it. Like that. I don't like bright lights when it's late.
Yeah. You like the like indirect lights that bounce off the wall.
Yeah, I don't have it like, or I have like the ring light, but I turn it down and face it away. And
it's not harsh on the eye. You don't. It's not a distraction.
Especially when you're already looking at the screen as well.
Trust me.
Too much.
Yeah, it's too much lighting going on in it.
Get me so aromatherapy. That just helps me feel like creative as well. Again, tunes.
Music, fam.
Music.
They're essential. Trust me, they're proper.
Without music, man,
but this is why I like to drive and play tunes. It seems like when everyone gets in my car, you've had a chance to talk before we got in the car. Everyone gets in the car, I want to blast out tunes and drive fast. You know what I'm trying to say? Everyone decides, turn my radio down, start talking. Anyway, I'm not even going to get into that. But music is important. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's crucial. It's crucial still.
It's
a good question, that is.
A podcast or something. If I want to just learn, or sometimes I just listen to like binaural beats as well. Just like no music, just to help me focus. That helps as well.
Yeah, that's one thing I do run in the background. I put on podcasts. That's where the 3-hour podcasts are beneficial, because you can just let them play. You're listening to conversation, but you're doing your work. I'm trying to say. So
that's sick, definitely. Because that's one thing that's another, not for this topic, but having the time to learn. You don't find the time to learn, so I think having a podcast on in the background, you subliminally learning, aren't you? Taking stuff in. So it's hard to find the time to learn when we've got a crack on. You get me? So
people listen to our podcast as well. People have told me when they're doing work, because they're creatives, whether they're printers, whether they're fine artists, they've told me like, I was listening to your pod, and when you was talking about printing, it's something I learned because I didn't know about CMYK, and I said I've had that on in the background when I'm doing work. So I'm just like, you know what? Okay, cool, it's working. You get me?
Every day is a learning day, innit?
Exactly.
You just never know. That's what I'm saying,
for
man.
real. But yeah, man. Second question. We'll get through like 3 of these.
Yeah, man. Let's go. Question number 2. Do you think AI is going to take my job?
It's not taking my job.
AI is taking my job. I love it. Yeah, now that's the confidence that we want, innit? Yeah, it's not taking my job.
Listen, the machine can work with me.
Exactly.
It's not beat the machine. Yeah, nah, the machine's
together, man.
Yeah. You're like, come on, machine, man. You're trying to do me like that.
And if the machine does take a lot of the jobs over, you're still gonna need the human side anyway. So
100%.
I wouldn't say it's going to take the jobs, but it will cut down a lot of tasks that
Yeah.
people have to do. And we can't rely on it too tough, because
Yeah.
if it breaks down one day, then no one's going to have the skills, because everyone's just used to watching it work.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
get me? So
100%.
I know it's not taking my job. You can work alongside me. We can be
You ain't-
bridgings.
we can be friends.
We can be
Yo,
friends. But it's not taking
that
my
is
job though.
funny.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
it's
saying?
true. Now that's the confidence that we need. Like I always say to you, and it is, instead of saying is AI going to take my job, it's like, how can I use AI to better myself? How can I use AI to take me to that next level? You know what I mean? And it's just flipping it, just thinking about it differently, and just saying, yeah, okay, like, you know, AI is going to make me work on this client. Now it's enabled me to work on another client quicker, whereas now it would have took me 4 or 5 weeks. AI is now, it's taken me a week to develop something or create something, onto the next one, and then onto the next one, and onto the next one.
Therefore.
So that's how I think
it
got
just,
to utilize it.
like I said, like I always, it's just a tool, and you can help. It just helps make things easier for you. And it's like, obviously, let's say you have a drill. You get me? You could buy a cheap one from Aldi or Lidl, or you can buy the big thing there. What's it called? Mac something.
Yeah. Calm.
You can buy the like what's that brand called? Mac something. Can't remember, but it's a well-known brand anyway. When you have like, where am I even going with this? Wow, I lost my train.
What
Are you trying to say if you buy something cheap, you're gonna have to buy it like twice?
was it macro?
Yeah, it's just like when you have like, when you spend money or use a better tool, like it's gonna make your work better. It's gonna have longer. It's gonna last for longer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Was it macro?
Okay.
Macro was it?
called Mac. I can't remember, bro.
What?
remember
Where
what
did I
it
get
is.
macro from?
I don't know.
Is this a
I was
drill?
really going for food.
Yeah, it's like like different tools.
Makita.
Makita, that's the one. You see, I knew I was going mad.
I worked in Screwfix, you know. I worked in Screwfix by the way.
Get me? That's what I'm saying. Like that, and that's
Makita
a good
drill.
tool, you get me? That lasts long, compared to if you just buy something cheap.
Like
so
a
it's
cheap
just
thing.
for like, if you use AI, it's like having, and then us being, let's say we're the carpenter and we've got the good tools.
Yeah.
You get me? It's gonna work work to our advantage.
100%. Like you said, you don't have to keep buying because you're going to end up spending double the amount. Keep going back and buying a dead tool when.
And then it's also looking at it from the aspect of, okay, when we're talking about stock images, so it's like, okay, I could have a subscription to download stock images, or I can just generate some now. So there are different ways that you can use AI tools. Like, I feel, is it going to take people's jobs? It might in some cases, but they're not the clients that I want to be working with.
Nah. And like, for instance, the stock images, you know, like, okay, you found a way to get stock images. Is that stock platform going to go down? No, because people are still going to want to take images and upload it to the stock pool. They're still going to want people. They're going to want to make money somehow. You get me? And as we said, AI is still a bit. It's still a bit iffy anyway. Like, you know, you get, when you put in a video up, you get hands kind of twist up and all sorts, and faces kind of going a bit weird and whatnot. So it's not quite there yet. Anyway.
Obviously, AI is learning all the time in it, so it will get better.
It does
over
move
time.
fast.
But at the same time, we just have to learn how can we use it, or work with it to better what we do.
I think we're going to be in a field where people are gonna have their own AI
For their own
for their own little even processes, because there's a thing called AI agents, which is the next thing that's coming out, and like they're working on it. There's businesses starting to implement it already. So it's, you know, the AI is doing big processes for businesses now. So like, for instance, if I jump on a site and I want to book a hotel room or something like that, I could say to AI, for instance, this agent, yo, find me the bestest, and it will book it for me. So it's automated. So we'll probably have little agents that work for us, like, yo, flipping out, sort out my invoices for me. Boom, 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 boom. Do this for me. So I think that's where it will head, and we'll each have our own little individual agents doing individual things. But but that don't mean to say that the the accountants are gonna
Yeah,
go.
I think we're good people. We
Yeah,
don't
we're
have
good.
to worry
We
about
are
our
good.
jobs just yet. And if you are worried, then maybe you need to look at other things to up your skills or learning how to use
AI to learn something else.
Yeah, man.
Trust me.
basically.
Yeah.
Jump on a next graft or a
Yeah.
next hustle.
man.
But interesting question though. Good question.
So this one we got, have you had a nightmare client? If so, what did they do? I think we've answered this one, so we're going to leave this one for
To
you.
me, oh my days.
You get me? Who was your nightmare client? And
You don't have to disclose who it was, but you know, you can if you want, but you don't have to. Was it?
Nightmare client, you know.
You have to think in it. It's like you probably had a few.
Now my app button's broken today still, so it's not working. My app button can't at anyone. I'm trying
Or
to
even
think
if it's
now.
an experience where you thought, you know what,
Yeah.
I don't want that.
I'll
to
probably
happen
say more time internally, like working for businesses. We've had some nightmare call them stakeholders
again. Okay.
in the business, but in the business world. But yeah, nightmare like where you know you kind of have like a statement of work where you kind of capture everything, and then you end up going back. Still, like the product's almost ready to be launched. Like we've done the training, it's there, ready to be launched. And oh, what about this or what about this? And then they introduced another stakeholder that wasn't in there from the start. Because in the beginning, it's like, who am I speaking to?
Yeah,
Who am I
yeah.
liaising with for video, for content, for image creation? Who am I liaising with? And then come to the end, they'll probably pull out another person. It's like, oh, so and so needs to see it in, and we're like, we're literally going to launch it now. So, you know, that's very annoying because you get so far. And again, we can relate in the design world as well when we're about to launch and there's a tweak on a logo or there's a tweak on some sort of video or audio or whatever it is. But it happens a lot. It happens a
I
lot.
know what you mean.
Like you said, it's always when someone else gets involved later on in the process. There's
You
just
find that
too
as
many
well?
people involved in it. Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Too many
like
cooks.
DJs.
Too many cooks.
Like DJs that double book and then they say, oh, I can't do this event. And you got to go and edit the motion. But that's the one that takes the piss. Going back into the file and then you have to because one DJ's came out now, it's messed up the symmetry. There's no longer 8 DJs, there's 7. So you have to put 4 on the bottom row, 3 on the top, you get me?
I
Whereas
think you
before
need to
it
do a
was-
reel
I'm
on that,
saying,
you know. You need to just mock
Yeah.
up something and just like,
I might still.
now he's calling,
annoying,
drops
man.
out
Yeah.
and he's like trying to organize, like nudging it to the left and the
Yeah.
shoulders over the letter. You're like, oh, might nudge it
That's
to the
what I'm
right.
saying.
And you see, like, how you just said that, to them, it's just like, oh, you just have to
Oh,
take the DJ out in their head.
People
But they
don't
know,
understand
like,
the
that, you see, that
complexity.
small change. It
Bro,
changes the whole design now. Have
skews
to realign everything. You get me? But in their head, it's like, oh, yeah, it's just a little change. It's like, yeah, to you, it's a little change because you're just asking for it. But when you're actually having to do it, it's like you have to change a lot of elements of that design.
The worst thing about it, sorry to quit, yeah, but it just came to me now. The worst thing about it is when you've wrapped it up, you've been paid, and then you probably jet set and go on holiday, or you're in London with family or whatever, and then the person's holding it and say, oh, can you change this? Oh, yeah, I'll drop you a change. And it's just like, I'm not even about. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
But I do want to do it for them, but I ain't got my equipment with me. This is my family day. You know what I'm trying to say? Whereas if this stuff was, looked at beforehand, then we wouldn't have to make these changes. But I
Yeah.
suppose just naturally, and it happens. And if you can change it, you can, and you charge a little extra. That's what you're charging for,
Yeah.
any the inconvenience. And if not, then you just can't do it. They're
Just
gonna have to
can't do it.
upload the same flyer and just put a sticker over it or something. You know what
Yeah,
I'm trying to say?
just-
Or put the DJ on blast. Say, yo, my man ain't gonna be there.
Yeah,
You know what I'm trying to say? It's real life.
That is what it is, isn't
The
it?
expectation is for us as designers is to be yes man all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah, for
Which
real.
we need to change that narrative in terms of like saying nah.
You have to learn how to say no.
We need to learn how to say no.
Yeah.
Which I'm the big. That's like it's one of my key core values. I need to learn how to, to be more assertive and start saying no more. You get me? And like you said, they come in. I'll drop you a little change. Just change this thing last minute, even though it's packaged up and sealed. It's like now I'm gonna have to open up everything. But I feel like what would be the big solution for that is what would be the solution for that? How would you improve ways of working and flow to ensure that we don't get in that situation later down the line? What kind of processes would you put in place?
It's
That's a
probably
question
just-
back at you, man. Now,
It's probably just a case where it's just like, well, if you have got any changes within the following week, or if you just got any changes, just gonna have to charge extra for
Charge
it. But
extra,
as
yeah.
long as I'm available. If I'm not available, can't do it.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that's about it, really.
And then I think it's probably just capturing as much as you can from the very beginning, isn't it? So understanding, so you learn from the next. So like, for instance, just because only so much you can do, obviously, there's a change, and you want to make the client happy. But you learn from, like, you learn from the previous client. Okay, this is where this client come up to me and said, yo, I want to change this there. Can I include that in my next set of work that I'll get? How can I kind of make sure that doesn't happen again, kind of thing? There's only so much you can do, as you say, innit?
That's true. That's just the design life, innit? Certain times things pop up and you just gotta do what you need to do. And certain times, like, well, I've got other jobs on now, so for me to do this, we're gonna have to schedule it for another time. Yeah, you're always gonna try your best to help them, because at the end of the day, it's your client. You want to keep them happy, but at the same time, it's a business, so it's like finding that balance.
The balance.
Obviously, I want to help you, but then I've got all these other jobs on now where I have to try and fit this time in now, because let's say the client hasn't looked through things properly, or sometimes
hasn't understood the brief, or
But again, it's just having stuff down so everything's clear and everyone knows where to stand from the start to the end of the project. Yeah,
I think that's why I read, following you. That's one thing that I found that you're a big advocate for, is your processes. Like, you know, from when we've been at uni, it's kind of like, give me the work, give me the work, give me the work, give me the work. I need this, and you just do anything to get work. Now it's more like you're professional, seeing the growth, and in you know, you speaking to the clients, and the way you speak to the clients, and how you handle your work and your workflow and stuff like that. It's a big learning for me, which I've got coming into this world now, as we've spoke more. Like later on down the line, but it's massive seeing the progress and that, because I think that's a big thing. That's a big part of it, man. Client relations is massive.
It is. I feel like I've still got a lot of learning and growth that I can do, but again, I feel like if, let's say, I was working in an agency or whatever, I probably have a lot more knowledge how to deal with clients and structure things a lot better. But when you're freelancing, I only know what I know.
What you know,
if I speak to other people, how can I do this better?
Yeah.
Yes, you can watch YouTube videos and whatever, but again, it's finding time, and then even how do I implement that in the right way?
Exactly.
So it's just, everyone just learning. I think it's like you touching on CS. I think that's one thing I rate about him. Was like, he's very open, and he said, you know what, I don't know everything. Yeah. But he knows a lot. I don't know everything. You get me? It's like we're still learning. As much as we know, we're still learning. And then
that's the main thing to keep in mind, is that we're still learning as well. Every day is a learning day, isn't it?
Yeah, we don't know everything. At the end of the day, we can learn something from someone. Like, there's probably a load of stuff that I probably do that someone could say, you know what, you could do better. If there is anyone out there that knows how I can better myself, then, you know, give us a shout.
That's the thing, though.
Even with this podcast.
Yeah.
Defo. But the thing is, though, it has to be constructive.
100%.
People will say, oh, that needs to be better, or you could have done this, but okay, tell me how. Give me a reference, lead by example. Man will listen, you know. It's free game. A man like to learn, I'm trying to say to you. So
that is massive as well. The feedback, oh my days, when someone just says, I don't like this, or I wasn't expecting, but what tell me what you're expecting then. Like, I don't understand. Like, I'm not a mind reader. Like, what that's why I asked the questions at the start, you know, like,
nah, for real.
What is it? It's so important, isn't it? Constructive feedback. It's just.
And this is the mad thing, and this is why it's like, you see, when I don't follow my process, I always have to deal with something that I know. Well, if you follow the process, then
you could be avoided. There
you go. So again, it's just like, this is why I have to keep telling myself, just follow your process, no matter how quick they want the work. Until that process is, you've gone through that process. That's it.
Stick to your guns, man. Stick to your guns. I'm trying to say.
100%.
But yeah, man, we're learning and developing each and every day. So yeah, man, more stuff and more creativity that we're gonna be learning and to talk about on other episodes. But we're gonna wrap it up now. Still,
before you do that though, if anybody has any questions that they'd like to ask on the podcast, let us know so we can pull it on one of these cards. If there's any topics you want us to talk about, again, let us know in the comments. Send us a DM. Let us know so then we can pull it on one of these cards. But yeah, back to you.
But yeah, man, thanks everyone for viewing and returning back. Big thank you to J Creative as well. What's your socials, bro?
Yeah, it's at J Creative, Instagram.
Website.
Just give website jcreative.co.uk. You'll see my work there, portfolio on there and stuff like that. So yeah, just hit me up, anything graphic related, design related, website related. Yeah, like I said, jack of all trades, master of none. So
Yeah, man. Respect for
thanks for
joining
me.
us today,
Yeah,
man.
thanks
And
for
we
having me
hope to
down.
see you soon. But yeah,
Also, can I just big up Rivage as well? Obviously on the branding
Oh, yeah.
and the new
I like that
promo, yeah.
t-shirt still.
Yes.
Hard.
yeah,
This is the
t-shirts cold still.
Hair looks blurry and that. And
yeah
yeah.
Man, big them up.
yeah, big them up every time still.
Therefore.
Yeah.
Quick big up to collab space. Man, like Theo as well. Behind the camera. Yeah.
And let's go for the outro again for the third time. Listen, we gotta get out of here because I got somewhere to go. But listen, big up everyone for viewing. Big up J Creative.
Yeah.
Thanks
for having
yeah, man.
me.
You can follow us on the Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. It will be Grids and Guides Podcast or Grids and Guides Pod. And yeah, man. Make sure you like and subscribe. Make sure you share as well. And yeah, that's it from us, man. We're out.